What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we have a pretty big news update from Bungie in the form of This Week at Bungie, and we have a ton of information about Warmind and the May update. So they give us details about the new heroic strike modifiers that will be coming, a preview of the patch notes, more exotic weapon changes, big changes that will be coming to Eververse, and we even get a preview of some Season 3 stuff there as well. On top of this we have download information, exactly when you'll be able to download the Warmind DLC, so let's jump into it. So Bungie start by talking about the two recent developer commentaries that they actually posted. I have covered both of these, so you can check those videos out in the description below. But they give us a quick preview of some of the patch notes. There's one thing here pretty interesting. As a short-term solution, vault space has been increased from 200 to 300 items. So that is actually an increase of 100 slots, which is pretty good. Of course, multi-emote wheel is coming. Guided games will now feature a Leviathan guide emblem that tracks the number of raid encounters and raids a player has completed as a guide. And it comes with a unique aura which lasts for 14 days, and once a week while the aura is active, guiding a raid to completion grants 1 bright engram. They include that the new pursuits tab has been added, and weekly loadouts for raid and raid lair rewards are now class based. Players running multiple characters of the same class will receive rewards only the first time they run the raid or raid lair in a given week. So that's a little hint towards some of that stuff which will be happening with the raids. So a few interesting details there for sure. Next though, they talk about Eververse. So they say in the January development roadmap, we spoke of shifting the balance of vanity content in the favor of activity rewards rather than purely through Eververse. To further improve the overall Eververse experience, a new feature we're calling Prismatic Matrix will debut in Season 3, and this feature has been developed with 3 key goals in mind: to give players more control over how they earn Eververse items, offer a more predictable path each week that guarantee access to specific items, and to drop fewer duplicates. So they say at release, the Prismatic Matrix will feature 10 Eververse items from Season 3 each week when it's active. Each item within the Prismatic Matrix is a knockout list, which means every player is guaranteed to receive all of the featured items for a given week by the 10th activation. Earning items via bright engrams, dust, and previous Matrix activations will also knock rewards off the list. In turn, each activation guarantees players an item that they have never previously acquired. And we can see this image right here, which is very interesting. And of course, there is the new gear there as well, exotic ship and an ornament, I believe, for the Huckleberry SMG, which is a new exotic. But they go on to say with your first well-rested level up each week, you'll earn a prismatic facet, allowing 1 free use of the Prismatic Matrix, and prismatic facets stack up to 3, so make sure you have proper inventory space before earning a rank up on a given week. Players can also purchase more activations for 200 silver each. Outside of the Prismatic Matrix, players will continue to earn bright engrams each time they level up, and they can still purchase these engrams if they want the chance to get everything from Season 3 catalog. Additionally, we're increasing the number of items available from tests each week with the bright dust from 14 to 18 items. So certainly a pretty interesting change there. Let me know what you guys think about that. Having more predictable kind of route to some of these rewards is definitely positive. Next though, I'm actually going to talk about heroic modifiers coming in this expansion. So Dan from Bungie says in Season 3 we've increased the baseline difficulty of heroic strikes to make combatants more aggressive and make the experience feel more heroic. At any given time, the heroic strike playlist will now have 3 modifiers on it: 1 burn, 1 advantage, and 1 disadvantage. And so the modifiers will include all of the burns, the arc, solar, and void singe, and all of this will give 25% increase in arc damage, outgoing and incoming, so that's both player damage and enemy damage. The advantages are going to be brawler, double melee recharge rate and damage, Grenadier, double grenade ability recharge rate and damage, and then heavyweight, triple power ammo drop rate and double power weapon damage. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Of course, brawler and grenadier come from D1, but heavyweight sounds pretty interesting. Triple power ammo drop rate and double the power weapon damage, that's going to be pretty fun. But there are also disadvantages. So glass, players' health and shields are halved, but recharge rates are doubled. Blackout, where the radar is disabled and enemies do 20 times increased melee damage. damage, so that's kind of like the old melee one from D1. Iron, where enemies no longer stagger and health pools are increased by 50%, and Grounded, where players take 5 times the damage while airborne. So pretty interesting stuff there. I think the advantages definitely sound like a lot of fun. On top of this though, players will now be able to take the rare challenge card, this is the Nightfall challenge card, to Xur and upgrade it to a legendary, and doing so will add more customization options to the card. And there will be some unique challenge card disadvantages, so Extinguish, return the fire team to orbit on a wipe. Famine, where ammo drops are reduced by 50%. Match game, players must match their damage type to the enemy shield. Attrition, where health regen is slowed greatly and enemies drop health orbs. And then Momentum, health regenerates only when the player is moving. So those are going to be pretty interesting. I think in particular though, the strike modifiers for heroics are going to be pretty fun. But now it's time to talk about some exotic buffs. So they actually give us a preview of the Darcy sniper. Let's check it out. So they give an explanation of this. The sniper rifle now grants 4 times damage once locked onto a target. Exact scaling depends on activity. Any Crucible combat snipers will also want to give this gun a try. It's got a 7-round magazine, reduced zoom for closer engagements, and an aim assist stat retuned to be more generous when you haven't locked onto a target yet. So of course we can see the weapon actually dealing that bonus damage and locking onto the target. This could actually really be the first sniper with some serious DPS potential there. This is pretty interesting. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think about that. But then they also talk about Risk Runner, which of course we've seen. They say that we gave Arc Conductor increased resilience to incoming arc damage by 50% and enabled it in the Crucible. Arc Conductor now activates when the weapon is stowed, but damage resistance will only work when your weapon is in your hands. This was already a strong weapon for PvE, and we're hoping these changes will give it some interesting Crucible loadouts, strategies, and encounters. And it's definitely looking pretty strong there. And then of course there was the sweet business, and they say if you run this gun you'll probably just want to shoot forever. We gave it a capped ammo inventory of 999 rounds. It's not forever, but it's a lot. So of course a pretty interesting change there with the sweet business as well. But next they talk about Warmind and when you'll actually be able to download this. So firstly, Warmind will go live at 11 AM Pacific time. And of course this is Tuesday the 8th of May, so that will be 7 PM BST here in the UK. That's actually when the DLC goes live. But at 7 AM PDT, players will be able to start downloading Warmind and the update, so there will be a few hours to get this downloaded. They don't give us the actual size for the DLC, but they do say the storage space needed for PS4 is 71GB, Xbox One 50 and PC 68GB. I'll try and get a confirmation of the exact download size for the DLC, but it's looking like there will be 3 or 4 hours to actually get the download done. And then of course there is also the raid, and this is Spire of Stars. We will go live at 10 AM Pacific on Friday, May 11th. That's 6 PM here in the UK, so that's going to be pretty interesting as well. One final thing I wanted to mention is that Activision actually talked a little bit about the fall expansion for Destiny 2 inside of their conference call. So this is from Game Informer. They stated that the expansion would include a mode that is new to first-person shooters as a genre. So that is the big September mode that a lot of folks have spoken about. They did also confirm that the actual expansion will debut at E3, so that's in just over a month. We'll get information presumably about this mode and some of the big changes that we'll see, as well as all of the content for that fall expansion. So it's definitely going to be very busy. Of course, Warmind next week, that'll keep us busy for a few weeks, and then E3 with all of the news, and a summer filled with news, as well as that event and another update in the middle of the summer for Destiny 2. So the cadence of content has for sure picked up. Definitely going to be very interested to find out exactly what this new mode could be. I mean, there's so many different potentials, it really doesn't sound like it's going to be Battle Royale at this point, although Battle Royale is absolutely the trend. I just don't think that's what Bungie are going to be doing. We'll have to wait and see exactly what it turns out to be, but they say it's a very engaging mode. And of course, if we do get a really cool new mode and Bungie are also able to kind of fix and look at some of the loot systems in the game, make that much more compelling and replayable in general, then we could start to really see the game come together. But of course, before we get to that, we've got Warmind. We've had a whole ton of information about this DLC because they announced it or kind of revealed it so relatively close to the actual release. But I'm pretty excited to jump in and see kind of what the general improvements are. I think there's a lot of potential with the content as always, but we'll have to see exactly how it pans out. I do have to say though, guys, thank you so much for all of the support you've shown me here on the channel. It's been absolutely incredible. Things have really picked up, which is really nice considering, you know, how D2 has been for a little while now. So once again, thank you for sticking with me here on the channel. All of the support that you guys show, really appreciate it. It helps me keep going, obviously. As always though, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. That's going to be the bulk of it for now. Let me know any thoughts that you have in the comment section. If you have enjoyed it though, a like is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see more D2 content. For now though, I hope you guys have an awesome day.